Hello there. It has been a little while since I've made anything. I don't know, life just got in the way and I was feeling kind of in a funk, but I went and saw that new movie, Project Hail Mary with Ryan Gosling. It is such an uplifting, adorable, fun movie. It just brought me into a good mood and I said, you know what, let's go ahead and make something. So I found this fabric at Goodwill. It's actually a duvet cover from IKEA. It's got little raindrops and clouds, but they're such pretty, vibrant colors that I said I have to make something out of it. It's so much fabric. So I thought in my head that I should make something tiered and have a nice flowy dress. And so I'm hanging out in the late 70s today. I originally pulled this dress and I really like it, but I thought I have so much fabric, I want one more tier on here. So then I found this from 1977 and I really like the length on that one, but it is a shirt and a skirt, which is great because I could wear them as separates, but I don't want to make that long sleeve shirt. I live in Florida. So then I found this one and it's just a halter top. I think it's really cute, this one right here specifically. Although it is a lot of fabric choking her around the neck, I would have to, so I have to think on that. But I do like how it's got some interesting things going on. And I don't even know the year because it's not printed on there. I can look it up and then put it on the screen. I just find it really fascinating when they don't put the year on there because it's just an oversight to me because we're cataloging patterns from the past. Tell me what year this is. So that's what I want to do. I want to make these two pieces and I've got my AirPod in because like I said, I went and saw Hail Mary and now I got to read the book. So I'm listening to the book because I was told that listening to the book is even better. So hopefully it's cheerful and bright and it helps cheer you up as well if you're in a funk. And so I'll talk to you in a bit. I decided to go ahead and try to get these wrinkles out of the duvet cover by throwing this into the dryer with a wet cloth. So this skirt is really interesting. I would have never guessed that all those pieces didn't just go down the center. They kind of stagger, so those two go down the center, but then these ones stagger, which is so interesting to me. I guess I never really thought about it, but I guess it's cool to not have one big long seam going on the back. Interesting. Honestly, I guess I've never made a peasant skirt before because I did not know that that's what was going to happen. It seems to have done nothing. That's fine. I don't think I'm that concerned about the wrinkles, to be honest, because this thing's gonna get gathered anyways. Let's go ahead and cut this thing out. I guess I could have wet this entire thing and dried it to get those wrinkles out. I just thought I'd test it with the wet cloth. Maybe it's just too much fabric and it just didn't, I don't know, failed attempt, whatever. So even though this is a really bright and pretty fabric, something happened with the way it's constructed that the black part that is the raindrops behind the clouds kind of looks like bats a little bit. I was trying to find a way to lay out these pattern pieces to where I would skip over the black parts. And I thought I was being really clever until I cut the first piece out and realized that the back and the front of the duvet cover aren't the same. I'm not sure why I didn't think about that in advance, but it kind of actually just freed me up to say, oh, whatever, I'll just go ahead and cut all these pieces out in a line so that I actually have plenty of fabric left over to make the top. And I needed every ounce of fabric to finish the top. So I'm kind of glad that I didn't realize at the time that that was going to happen. So I'm just cutting out the last bit. And there's one piece in particular that I do end up remaking later on, you'll see. And again, it wasn't that big of a deal, but that bat pattern really was something. Okay, here we go. I'm stitching up the first two pieces. It had me stitch up one side and then the other side stays open. And then I realized something. Well, this is a size 10 from 1977. So the waist is about 25 inches, supposedly. I am not that. So this is not gonna, it's not gonna gather much, but it's okay. So I throw the gathering stitches in the top. That's cute. I like that. And I got clothes on underneath, so that'll be okay. That exasperated. That'll be okay, but it will. It actually turned out just fine. It had me gather the top of the second piece and then get that lined up with the bottom of the first piece, contemplating whether I believe in this. Oh, I'm just looking at those bats. It's kind of cute. Do you believe me? Do I believe me? All right, so it had me put the 3 pieces together for the 3rd layer. I decided to make sure that I gathered the stitches in between the seams. So there were 3 seams, and so each piece I put gathering stitches in each piece so that it wasn't one big long gathering stitch. That way the fabric could stay in a neutral position, because I noticed when I was gathering the very first top piece that it all went in one direction, and I needed it to actually kind of stay even. So it kind of rides up a little bit on the top. You can see on the right hand side a little bit, but I end up removing that piece anyway, so it gets better. All right, time to put the final tier of this cake together, stitching those 3 pieces together and then stitching the gathering stitches in between the seams, and then just getting this all together and pinned up. I was really happy with how easy this really was. The staggering, like I said, still confuses me a little bit. I think it might have just been bad construction on my part, I guess. But here it is. Yay, I have a big old skirt. I'm just looking over the pattern. That's fun. Made a skirt. It's kind of neat. Don't love these. I don't love those seams, but that's what I had to do. But it's pretty fun. So I like this side better in terms of the front, except for the pieces that look like bats. I'm just gonna go ahead and remove this front piece and turn it into a non-bat front piece, because I feel like the rest of it doesn't really look like bats so much. And on the back side, I'm not really concerned. It doesn't look like bats anywhere really, except this one giant front piece that's just one giant Batman signal. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut a piece out. So I'm gonna cut this piece off and then replace it and then start again. So that's where I'm at the moment. All right, so I'm taking that front panel off, cutting out another piece, getting the stitches gathered up, and then I will attach them together, and no one will be the wiser that it was a Batman costume. That's better. Yay! That looks much better. That's interesting. Yay! I'm gonna move on to the top half now. So I was still undecided which of the 3 pieces I wanted to make. I always keep trying to make things that wrap around my neck. I eventually give up on it because I don't like being choked in my clothing. But it was a fun montage of trying to figure it out. And I finally decided to cut this fabric open so I didn't put a bat signal into my costume again. And guess what? I ended up doing it anyways. When I laid this out, it was right in the front again. I wish I didn't put this right here. It's the one thing I was trying not to do. What if I did something crazy and did this like this instead? It's not so bad. It's not bad. It's not bad either. That's interesting. I have to make a decision. Don't love it. All right, let's do something else. I decided to go ahead and line this top with the same fabric, stitch it up so that because I kept pulling on it when I was trying to decide how I was going to wear it, and I was realizing that it was getting a little thin, so here I am just putting that together. The original pattern did not call for this. It just had you understitch all of the hems. It's so much better protected, I think. And now I'm cutting out the extra piece to make a bow in the front. I'm still going based on the fact that I'm going to wrap this around my neck. It's gonna be cute. I like that. It's kind of exactly what the pattern is, minus this being closed. And I just go ahead and finish up the second part, the second tie. Hello, it's day 2. I really hate the fact that when I get 3/4 the way into a project is when I don't turn my camera on. So I always start off by going, okay, this is the pattern I'm gonna make. And then I have troubles, and then my second act, things are on fire. And then by the time we get to the third act, everything is starting to turn around, and then I just finished the garment. And I feel really bad because I think I've made some great headway and you didn't see it happening. But let me just show you what I've done and why I'm so excited about this. I spent hours and hours and hours just sitting there trying to figure out how I was gonna finish this top. Like I said, it was choking me and I hated it. One of the things when I was getting ready to make this dress that I thought about with this fabric specifically was one dress that was on White Lotus, the most recent season. The woman had a dress on that had a piece of jewelry that was connecting the entire dress together. And that stayed in the back of my head the entire time I was looking at this fabric to even make something out of it. I took a necklace apart that I had. I took this gold ring to secure the fabric here. And then I'm going to actually add a tie in the back. This is the other part of the necklace, and it's this great orange color. I really honestly wish I might have put this one on the front because I love the color, but I think it would have been too wide because I think that's actually the perfect shape. But this thing just wraps back into itself, and this bow is part of the top. I really love this top now. It's very secure. I love this bow for the skirt. And you know, I was talking about how I watched Project Hail Mary and then I was listening to it. And as I've been working, these have reminded me of those microbe things that are attacking the sun. I feel like, again, I picked this fabric because it just kind of represents that movie in a very, very abstract way. I don't think there's any spoilers involved in that. It just was, you know, something that I kept thinking about because I listened to this book for, I don't know, 10 hours yesterday. So what do I have to do to finish this up? I'm going to need to finish up the back where it ties up in the back. I think in order to do this, I'm going to take some of this fabric out because I don't want this much fabric being tied up. So I think I'm going to end up stopping it somewhere here and here, putting the rest in a tie to tie up the back so that that'll be done and it won't be choking me. I need to put a waistband on the skirt and I need to finish the bottom of the skirt. So that's it. Those are the 3 things I have to do and then it'll be done. Once I get this done, if I get it done in time to spend the day in it, because it is beautiful outside and I hope you have good weather too. My mom's just getting bombarded with snow and so let's hope that it gets better. Anyway, that's where we're at. All right, time to tackle the top of the skirt. That's a mouthful. I decided to try horsehair. I just absolutely love using horsehair for everything now, it seems, and it worked exactly as I had hoped it would work. It just sit on there so nice. And now for a fun time, I actually have these snaps that were at the bottom of the duvet cover. And I was observing them earlier and I thought, you know what? I could actually incorporate these as the way to close this. I love using any part of a duvet cover or curtain, just anything that has closures, or the shirt, using the buttons and the buttonholes. It just was such a fun, random thing to find, and I decided to use that as the way to close up my skirt. And I had to stitch them closer together, so I had to figure out where they needed to be stitched, testing them, placing it on my body to find out where it needs to close, stitching those together, trying it on, and realizing I needed one more snap to close it all the way. So I'm just building out one more snap. And now I'm going to pull the horsehair out again and put it on the bottom of the skirt. I figure if it works on the top, why not use it to hem the bottom? Cruising right along, it's finally time to finish my top. I just had a random strip that I don't know what it was for. Oh, I think I ended up cutting out an extra piece of one of the bottom of the skirts. It wanted me to only cut out one, but I just went ahead and cut out 2. So I cut it in half, and then I'm making the tie by stitching it inside out and then flipping it through, kind of like making a scrunchie. Doing the other one. And instead of actually cutting this fabric, I'm just gonna fold it in and hope that I got the size right. I wanted to put the smaller end of the tie over top of the thicker end of the shirt so that it actually would all come together really nice. Now I'm going to steam it out to get some of that fullness out. I just want to smush it all down before I go and stitch it up. Now I'm just carefully stitching those together. That's all of it. I'm going to go ahead and get dressed. I finished it. Ta-da! It's done. What do we think? I love it. I really do. I think it's so bright and cheerful. I love the bows on the front and the back. I love the hardware on the front and the back. I truly am so comfy right now. This top is just light as air, as is this skirt. Honestly, horsehair is becoming my new favorite thing in the whole wide world. I love how easy it was to just incorporate it into this top without having to make a whole nother belt. I hate nothing more than things that go around my waist because I am short-waisted. I don't like being squeezed at all, and this thing is just gliding on me. Now, I also am so excited I was able to incorporate these snaps from the duvet cover. I didn't do it very cleanly. You can see the stitching in there. I can go back and put some pink thread in there, probably will. I just, at the time, didn't really know where this belt was gonna rest, and I'm just really, truly happy with the way this came out. It's just, truly, I can't get over how comfortable it is. I love the horsehair on the bottom too. I love that it gives it that extra bit of wind factor. Oh, it just glides on the air. I think I will have the most fun time out in this. I think I will go for a walk in it right now because it is really nice outside and I feel really comfy and it's bright and colorful. I think it just hit all the objectives I was looking to hit, and I really hope that you enjoyed the process and that you enjoy the outcome as well. I'm gonna get out of here. I really appreciate you watching so much, and I'll see you next time.